I still can't believe what that Almeidrea did. Not only that, but she was enjoying it.
It's patently clear she has no respect for human life whatsoever.
We need to take her out. I don't think I've ever felt so enraged at another person in my whole life.
Yeah! There's no way she's getting away with this!
Then we head for the underground docks. We need to hurry. Rinwell, can you keep moving?
Yeah. My family and I, we spent all of our days just living in hiding. Until one day when we were found and attacked. I was the only one my dad and the others hid. That's the reason I survived. While the rest of my family was butchered. The only thing that I could see was the crest of a lord glowing through the smoke. And then...
It was Almeidrea who did it. I'm sorry, Rinwell.
That woman. Did she really find the existence of Dahnan mages to be that much of a threat?
Enough to invade another lord's territory? No, I doubt that. Most likely, she was after their knowledge and techniques. She only did it so she could become stronger. That's the kind of woman she is.
In retrospect, I do remember her making it sound like she created that monster she summoned.
A monster. I wonder, do you all think of me as a monster? Because I'm able to use magic even though I'm Dahnan?
Rinwell.
Of course we don't think you're a monster, you dummy.
Huh?
I might have had to hold you back, but it's her fault any of this ever happened, not yours. Got it?
Law.
Now or never.
Here I come! You're finished!
Nothing gets by me!
These ones can run rings around us!
Can't get out of this! Glimmer Dragon! You're mine! You're finished!
Eat this!
Lunar Rongo! I'm not done!
Anything in armor is
Hurricane
all
Thrust!
right!
Super Swallow
Take
Dance!
it! I'm just getting started!
I'll smash you! Eternal Devastation! It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Glimmer Dragon! You're mine! Prepare to be sheared! I'm on it! Triple Wing! Take this! Eagle Fire!
Raging Cascade!
Watch this!
Kisara, I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Ow! Slap the shot! This one's all mine! Stardust! Rising Falcon!
I'm
Not
also
today!
good at airborne targets.
This one's mine!
Flying free! Why can't they just sit still?
Shion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
You're mine! Double Demon Fang! Kick it! Here I come! It's over!
Now!
Go!
Hey! Blow them away!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Right, here goes! I'm not done! This one's all mine!
Raging Cascade!
You're finished! Eternal Devastation! I'm on it!
Hurricane!
Azure Storm!
This one's mine!
You're mine! You're finished! Eternal Devastation!
Forward that
You're mine! Right!
You've been smelling to me.
Yeah! And it's tumbling to me!
Strike! Eternal Devastation! Here I come! First right! Azure Storm! Eternal Devastation!
Redwell! Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Don't get careless.
Right, here goes!
Mega Ray! Not on my watch!
Azure Storm!
Raging
Here I
Storm!
come!
It's a duel of the arts!
Lunar Rondo!
Now!
More! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! My hit's on! Lunar Rondo!
Lunar Field!
Rising Falcon! Severing Wind! Lunar Rondo! Not a chance! No escape! Lunar Rondo!
Practically unstoppable.
No choice!
Eagle's armor won't save you!
My
Severing Wind! Lunar Rondo!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
The enemy will us too.
We'll soon see about that!
Azure Storm!
Now I'm in the groove!
Eternal Devastation!
Freezing Storm!
Here I come! You're mine!
Tornado!
Stardust!
Now!
River!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
Seems about right to me.
I think Huro senses an owl around here.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! Eat dirt!
Glacial Spear!
You're mine! You're finished! We did it! No, you can't
Gloves in pain.
Blow away!
Far enough!
None shall escape
In a
my
bind?
judgment!
Eat this!
It's on! It's over! It's Eternal River!
Astral Energy!
Say no more.
No chance! No escape!
Shattering pieces!
Do it!
Law, I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky. I see plenty of ruins around here, too. It Must have been a big town bustling with people back in the day.
For Crown Contest participants, places such as these are but vectors for the astral energy they pursue. Similar to that windmill, for instance.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it. This won't be easy.
Don't be such a pessimist.
It's over! Double demon fang! Azure Storm!
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf.
I'll smash you!
You're mine! It's over!
Roll now!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and pummeling to me!
Here I come!
Blow away!
Lunar Rongo!
In a bind, Talon Hurricane!
You're mine!
Now,
Eagle
Darling! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
My turn! It's over!
Eat this! Rip and throttle! Roll now!
Severing Wind!
Sleep now.
Double
I'll be
demon
saving
fang!
this one.
This one's all mine!
Eat this!
Fury!
Burn it!
Talon Hurricane!
I'm ready for the next battle.
No
I'll
choice!
heal you all.
Denied! I'm on it!
One last raging cascade.
Here I come!
Eagle
More
fly!
for the stop time.
Where are you going?
Take this!
Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Here I come!
Take this!
Lunar
Eagle
Rongo!
Soul!
Rising!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Not a chance!
Too fast!
Stand back! I'll trip it up.
Wind! Rising Falcon! You're finished!
None shall
Eternal
escape my
devastation!
justice.
Dance! Take this! You're finished!
Talon Hurricane!
Darling! This one's got your name on it.
Action to action!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
You're saying we should check the Owl Forest?
You think this is one of the places where the Dark Wings and Almeidrea fought?
I wouldn't be so sure. This place appears more ravaged by time than combat. Even if there are signs of destruction, it would likely have taken place during the Great Conquest of 300 years prior.
And ever since, it's been a breeding ground for Zeugles, I guess.
We seem to have come across something a little unusual.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
You picked the wrong fight! You're alive! Double Demon Fang!
Eagle do it now!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! My turn! You're mine! Finally found
Do it!
We got flyers in an instant! Impact Block!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Right, here goes!
A freeze is in the sky, it's mine!
Shout!
This one's mine!
You're mine! It's time!
Raging
You're finished!
cascade!
Out
Smack
the
here!
door!
By the
Out
blood
the
of the
door!
stockpile! Vanquish darkness!
Blind freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Xion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done! Now!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Dance in
Not
the
again!
wind! Let the marksman handle this!
Take this! You're finished! Rising
Where are
Falcon!
you going?
Strike!
Do it! Xion! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go! Seems about right to me.
It's on! Armor won't save you!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for.
Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Here's a healing arc! Run for the starlight!
It's turning downstairs!
Its armor's too strong.
Did not open!
Be my guest! Lunar Rondo!
Rimworld! Demon's Descent! Flashing Fang!
Now!
Raging cascade!
You're finished!
Let's give it a whirl!
Eternal
Sleep
Downstairs!
well. I'll be baby
Win!
into the front!
Anything in armor is all mine!
I can do this all day!
Armor won't save you!
Vanquish dark searing
Double Demon
flame!
Fang!
This!
Strike!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more. Onward and upward.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. Looks operational.
I can't believe there's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Dahnans. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almeidrea.
I'm getting pretty hungry.
Want to sit down and fix something?
Yep, the sooner the better.
You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me, or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set, and we'll set sail.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Hey! It's that ingredient!
Yeah, the one for that recipe.
You always have an eye for food.
We've reached our destination.
This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Dahnans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Dahnans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Till then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat. I guess I'll check in on everyone and see how they're holding up.
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different, though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almeidrea, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almeidrea?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegis.
Right. I almost forgot about Lenegis. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almeidrea did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almeidrea do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almeidrea resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Saar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
You don't look so good. You all right?
The floor... it keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings...
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though... maybe that was just a biased perspective, from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people. But that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Miguel, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almeidrea, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cyslodia's Dahnans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Saar has people like Deadeye. But then there are people like Law and Shionne. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almeidrea. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
But what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almeidrea when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Shionne mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Shionne's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almeidrea's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cyslodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Nias its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually managed to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Dahnans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Dahnans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Dahnans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shionne.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dahna. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shionne?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almeidrea. I'll ask Mahavar.
Look who's up! Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almeidrea.
Now that's what I call a ship!
Yeah. The biggest one in all of Mahag-Saar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelzelik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah, I guess I could see it.
But what do you think Almeidrea plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect, at least.
I wouldn't put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous one indeed.
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
This might not be the best time, but if you have a minute. That mask of yours, it was shattered by a blow from Balseph when you fought back in Calaglia, correct?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I thought I was a goner.
Balsef's brute strength was in a league all its own. Yet half the mask remains. It's remarkably durable. Too durable to be Dahnan in origin.
Shion said the same thing. As if the fact I was wearing it meant there had to be more to me than met the eye.
You recalled your name when the mask broke, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. Although to tell you the truth, I'm a little scared what might happen when I lose the remaining half. Then again, the idea of not doing something because I'm afraid scares me even more. That's why I go on fighting.
Only he who first faces the night catches a glimpse of the dawn.
Come again?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Bring him down!
Not on my watch!
Here I go! You're finished!
This one's mine! Light
Take this!
annihilation!
You're finished!
I'll punch that gun out of your hand!
Engaging! Blow him down!
Eat this!
Rising focus! I'm not done! It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Ready to go!
Eat this! Demon Fang! Here I come! Let's go!
Do it! Ready, Frozen!
Hammer!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
An opponent like this should be easy. For my lord! Not today! Take this!
Lightning orb! Do it! Lightning shield! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
No shield can stand up to these fists!
You're finished! Luna Rondo!
It's almost too strong. Then I'll split it open!
Be my guest! Shield! You're finished!
Eat this!
We're not winning!
Arm seal! Do it!
Lord! Hey! Blow them away!
Nice. No...
Huh?
Got it! That went well.
Are you okay? You're not too tired, are you?
Nope, I'm fine. Let's keep moving.
It's over!
All yours, Kisara.
Take this!
Raging!
Ignite! Azure Storm! Crush! Take this!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And pummel it to me!
Double Demon Fang! You're mine!
I'm
You're
just
finished!
getting started!
Now!
Trigger!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Barely a blip on our radar.
I see one, eh? My shield? It's over! Double Demon Fang!
All empty!
Take down their defenses!
May 1,000 gales tear you to pieces!
Eagle Dive! Wind! Storm! Rising Falcon! Double Demon Fang!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Where are you going?
Hey! Blow them away!
I'm going in! I'm not done! Not today! You're mine! We're not
Kisara!
My turn! You're finished! I'm on it! Hurricane! Eagle Fly! Do it! Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
No backing down! Now you learn!
Lunar corruption! Radiant storm!
Take this! A showdown between Blade and Steel!
Corruption!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Not a chance!
Ronin's Render!
Azure Storm!
Take this!
Pierce!
Double Demon!
Lunar corruption! Gemini Alpha!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Onward and upward.
Gotta break through! You got smash you! Take this!
Wind Astral Energy! You'll pay for what you did!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Dance in the wind!
Take this!
I'll finish you here and now! All yours, Kisara!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Little help!
Got you now!
Astral Energy! Full throttle!
My turn!
I'll heal you all!
Azure
Denied! Supernova! Dragon Storm! Thank you.
Lunar Rondo! It's over! Hurricane Storm! I'm on it! Take this! Hurricane! Ready and ready!
Freeze
Here I come! You're finished! Eat this! I can carve through armor! Take this! Super Swallow Dance! Storm! You're
This
finished!
one's mine!
Azure Storm! Here I come! Double Demon Blade!
Storm!
Take this!
Wait now!
Eat dirt!
It's weakened!
This ends now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Barely a blip on our radar.
Never seen anything like it.
It's an authentication key. They're quite common.
Maybe where you're from. This is new to me.
It might go in an elevator somewhere. We should test it out.
Be a breeze. Get in, get out.
No escape!
Cyan Energy! Not on my watch! Lunar Blast!
Dragon Shell!
Take with darkness!
I'm on it! You're my storm!
Flying free. What can they do?
Not like you!
Can you take care of them?
No sooner
Shut 'em
said than
down.
done.
Swallow Dance! Eat dirt!
Glacial Spear.
Here's the Eagle!
Lightning
Lightning Blade!
Glacial Spear.
Now! Here's the Eagle! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Not a chance!
I'm on it! Watch this!
Wind astral energy!
Rise of rocket!
Tectonic
It's over!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more! Looks like we won. No choice. You've got to do it!
Let me help.
My turn! Strike! I won't show you any mercy! Now you'll learn!
Here goes!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block! Take it! Ignite! Goodbye! It's over!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'm on it!
Take this!
Hurricane!
Severing wing!
Rivet tear!
Rising falcon!
Commander of fear! Here's evil!
Slap the center!
Better! By the power! I'll do you all!
Take this!
Hurricane!
You're finished!
Raging
Circle!
Hurricane!
None shall escape my judgment!
I
Double
will
demon fang!
Photon laser spear!
I'm
Here's
not
evil!
done! Double demon fang!
Lightning attack! Thunderblade! Cover the caster! Light astral
Take it!
raging cascade!
Double demon fang!
Dance in the wind!
You're mine! It's over!
I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Here goes!
Double demon fang! You're mine! Ender storm!
Whoa, you alright?
Time to let it rip!
I'll be okay.
Here I come!
That's what I get for shooting too high. The enemy wheels aren't too on.
We'll soon see about that.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
With this, I can become even stronger.
This looks nice and tough.
Out of our way!
Here I come! Ender storm!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now! Here I come! You're finished!
Tempest by the power of water!
Rising Falcon!
Rip it, take on a roll now.
It's total devastation!
Now!
Here I come!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now! Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
By the power of water!
Escape!
Tempest!
Double demon back!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble.
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
These don't seem like your run-of-the-mill Zeugles the Renans usually keep around.
Indeed. I believe it's safe to assume these were used in her experiments.
They certainly look as twisted as her.
Even here. This is...
I remember...
An opponent like this could be easy.
Now you see what I can do.
Like shield, you're finished! First strike!
I'm the true gunslinger around here.
We're not ready! It's over!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Here I come! You're finished! This one's all mine! Luna Rondo! It's over!
Now in the groove!
Slap the shock!
I'm ready!
Carp back, will ya?
Lunar Blast!
Not today! Here I come! It's over! With destruction! Double Demon Fang! You're mine!
Mega Ray! For the win!
Nothing works by me!
Astral Energy! Full throttle! Haha! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?